just using a warehouse basic. So if you think about the warehouse as a whole, right, it's boxes in, boxes out in a big building, right? That's the first fundamental concept. And I know I'm talking about very, very fundamental basics and then coming up. Some people are already way ahead, but just reading from a level setting from that perspective, right? So what you see typically is on the south end, you have a one end to be receiving end, and other end is of shipping end. So the inventory flows from one side and inventory flows out from other side. Just a typical warehousing. It could change based on the layout and network. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, whenever aspect. But the idea is the inventory flows like a water, right? It doesn't stop. It comes in, it goes. And then if you think about airport security, what do? You just go through securities and everything. You have roadblocks, but you try to navigate and then go out, right? Same way water also flows, right? So that's a storage, right? So when it comes in, sometimes you have to store, you have to wait for some time, I wait for some time in the storage, then I go out, right? Ultimate aim is the turnaround of inventory. You don't want inventory to be in the warehouse. If it's be in the warehouse and gets aged, that means you're losing money on it, right? So that's from a fundamental business perspective. At the same time, you want your warehouse to be close to 75% to 80% fill, because that's how you can supply your market in as fast as you can, as immediately you can, right? Because it is collection of inventory from different manufacturers, right? And different sellers, right? So based on your business, based on how effectively you can attack fast, right? Typical, the way the warehousing was set up was you have front-end retail stores and you have a consolidated warehouse nearby which can supply you on a daily basis, because as your inventory is depleting in your store, you are replenishing it. That's how the concept of warehouse started, because you cannot keep the entire inventory in a store to supply, right? As the demand increases, you maybe instead of 1 day, you do a 2 day trip. Now the concept has now changed. The traditional model was people go into the store, buy, take it home, and then the stores used to replenish from DC. The entire optimization in the early 90s, 80s and 90s was to how easy, best way I deliver to the store. So all your transportation, logistics, it's all optimized from that perspective, right? How effectively I can deliver to the store. That was the only fundamental. You see all this trucking and everything was built, everything around that ecosystem. Then came the 90s, the dot-com boom, right? So slowly e-commerce started building. So people now felt, oh, we need to do some e-commerce. Oh no, people still like touch and feel. And many retailers didn't adapt to it. But the people who are ready to go through a disruption and differentiating model, like Amazon, survived and started putting money into it, thoughts into it, right? Hey, why not make it more comfortable from a customer's perspective? Then came the e-commerce model, right? So now people, distribution centers started thinking, how do I service, whereas optimized for a day delivery, morning 9 o'clock delivery, 10 o'clock delivery, a store, a lane, a sequence of stores I need to deliver into a more distributed network across the spectrum. How do I deliver it? How do I efficiently operate, right? Then the e-commerce DCs started coming into the picture. The problem with e-commerce is, in a traditional retail, you know that I'm going to take pallets in, load pallets out. You see all the pallets there. It's easy to take a pallet, load a pallet, and send it to your store. Like Home Depot, if you go, you will see a pallet of cement bags or a pallet of bricks. It's easy to get into the DC, easy to ship. But think about this way, that somebody is ordering only one brick, one cement bag. How do I break that, and how do I pack, distribute, and how do I ship out through my UPS or FedEx trucks, right? That motion of automation came, right? People started doing, within a retail DC, carving out sample e-commerce test pilot. Then they said, okay, e-commerce growing, I'm going to go start my e-commerce DCs. Then they started e-commerce DCs. When the evolution happened, people were slow, because e-commerce was, okay, I ordered, it will come after 3 days or 4 days. Now Amazon came with a different concept. I'm going to give you in 2 days. I'm going to give you in a day. I'm going to give you in 1 hour. How do you do it? Humans have certain capabilities, only certain things they can do it. That's a revolution happened. Automation happened in warehouse, right? So as you look at the automation, people add unit sorters, where you will basically take a pallet that is coming in, you inject into the sorter, it sorts based on the customer orders into different chutes. I'll show you a video later, right? So that was one type of automation, where people will go, pick, inject it will distribute, say all 10 people have ordered the same pallet, it will distribute to all 10 people, they pack, somebody who's standing down, they will pack it, right? Example concept is your luggage in your airport, where you put in a luggage, people are waiting around, and you pick the luggage, right? The same kind of unit sorter concept, right? Now that is, again, a costly process. Now people are now finding better ways to say, okay, this is too many people standing there picking bags. How do I make it as only 2 people standing there and still I'm able to satisfy the needs? And that's where the other automation of goods to person came into picture. And goods to person also is a different variation. And the final variation right now in the market, the best in the market is the gray orange one, right? So that's the, if you think about it, even in the traditional automation, you had what we call the reserve racks or the floor racks. We used to take inventory from floor racks, then replenish it. With the goods to person, now we are completely disrupting and differentiating ourselves, completely changing it. You come into a warehouse, it's empty warehouse. You don't build anything engineering. It's a pre-assembled. Like think about all the flyovers getting built, right? You have a pre-fabricated columns getting built. All people do now is put the columns, put the slabs, assembling, right? That's what is happening. So that's the reason they are able to turn around the flyovers in like less than 6 months. Now 1 year you're building a new flyovers in a city, which used to take 5, 6, 7, 8 years to do before. Even houses, right? Houses fabrication. Same model, GTP. You come in, you fabricate. You have everything racks fabricated, assembled in a standard size. You can change in between the ways, some flexibility, but the size is standard. You have automated motors, which is a robot buttless, getting the system in. So that's the reason when Jim says, oh, okay, 1 year we'll test the flows, the building aspect of it. If it was a new building and if it was already there with our standards, erection of robots, just manufacturing and erection of robots would have taken 3 months. And that's a 3 months we could have operational. The delay is not, the technology delay is basically the way the building was structured, how we took over the building, how the floor has to be laid out. Civil, the engineering aspect.